You know, thinking about it in hindsight, I'm surprised Rumble wasn't the first thing I talked about on this channel. Now, if you're coming from my first channel, you should probably already know I love giant monsters, and I do believe animation is the most limitless form of artistic expression. So, as you can imagine, when I saw Paramount and Nickelodeon's attempt to cash in on the increasing relevance of giant monsters these days, I knew I had to check it out. So how is it? Let's get to the story first, shall we? In a world where giant monsters and humans live side by side, there exists a legendary sport created by both. Monster Wrestling, where the building-sized behemoths come together to test their strength against one another in earth-shattering duels. And none were more famous than the long-reigning champions, Rayburn and Jimbo, who brought great fame and fortune to their hometown of Stoker through their numerous victories. But after they tragically pass away and their successors end up leaving for greener pastures, Stoker unfortunately falls more and more into obscurity, leading to the decision to sell off the stadium that once held their former champions. Desperate to save the stadium, Wendy, daughter of Jimbo, begins coaching the much more reluctant son of Rayburn, Rayburn Jr., to be the new hometown monster, under the stage name Steve the Stupendous. Only problem? He's not really that good, and is only able to win fights by the skin of his teeth. But through more unconventional methods, the two do realize that they are quite the force to be reckoned with. Something that doesn't go unnoticed by the former Stoker champion and current champion of the sport, Tentacular, who may or may not have some beef with the Rayburn legacy. So what do I like about the movie? Well, I like its idea of legacy. How the influence of those who came before can inspire others to go down a similar path, or even deter others from said path. How it's good to follow in the footsteps of those who inspire you, but just as important to carve out your own. How there will be some who want to honor those who came before, while others just want to tear it down so there can be no one to overshadow them. I think it's really the most profound thing this movie talks about. I also like the friendship between Rayburn Jr. and Wendy. Yes, you've got the usual shtick between coach and trainee, but when it's not doing that, there is an actual chemistry between the two that is quite charming and, even at times, humorous. I also like Tentacular, as he very much provides a legitimate threat. And plus, how could you say that final battle was not fun? It's easily the best scene in the movie. And it's just nice to see an animated movie tackle giant monsters. You don't see that too often. I think the last time we had something like this was 2009's Monsters vs. Aliens. But other than that, it does have a few issues. The most notable is its story. You've heard it many times before. An underdog works hard from the bottom to reach the top and must face an opponent he has no realistic chance at beating. It's basically Rocky, but with kaiju. But then again, just because it's unoriginal doesn't make it bad, just kind of predictable. But at the same time, the movie itself is aware of this and does try to poke fun at it. But not nearly enough in my opinion. But that's just my thoughts. In the end, it's an okay movie with a pretty good message. If you like giant monsters or have kids who want to see it, you won't be disappointed.